The silver poker was still hot when it touched my skin. I didn't scream. I learned years ago that screaming only made it worse. You looked at him again, Vivian hissed, her perfectly manicured hand pressing the heated metal against my forearm. The smell of burning flesh filled the kitchen. How many times must I teach you this lesson, Elara? I'm sorry, Luna, I whispered, biting down hard on my lip until I tasted blood. She released me with a satisfied smile, the poker clattering back into the fireplace. Clean this up. And don't be late with dinner service. The Alpha expects perfection tonight. My Alpha. Her mate. The man I served in silence while his Luna destroyed me piece by piece. Earlier that morning. The grand hall gleamed under the chandelier's soft light as I arranged the breakfast table. Silver platters, crystal glasses, everything positioned exactly as Vivian demanded. The pack house was quiet at dawn, the way I preferred it. Quiet meant safe. Quiet meant invisible. Good morning, Elara. I startled at Alpha Kale's voice, nearly dropping the pitcher of orange juice. He stood in the doorway, already dressed for pack business in dark jeans and a fitted shirt that did nothing to hide his powerful frame. At 28, he commanded respect without effort, strong jawline, dark hair, eyes that could pin you in place with a single look. Alpha. I bowed my head quickly, keeping my gaze on the floor. Breakfast will be ready in 5 minutes. You're always so efficient. His tone was warm but distant, the way it always was. Kind, but detached. He saw me the same way he saw the furniture, present, useful, unremarkable. He didn't see the bruises hidden beneath my long sleeves. Didn't notice how I flinched when anyone moved too quickly. Didn't know that his beloved Luna was a monster. Good morning, darling. Vivian swept into the room like sunlight itself, golden hair cascading over her shoulders, smile bright and beautiful. She kissed Kale's cheek before settling gracefully into her chair. Elara, you've outdone yourself again. Thank you, Luna. I kept my voice steady as I poured her tea. She watched me with those ice blue eyes, a secret smile playing at her lips. I knew that look. It meant pain was coming. Oh. Her hand jerked as I filled her cup, hot tea splashing across my arm. I gasped, pulling back as the liquid scalded my skin. Elara, I'm so sorry. How clumsy of me. It's fine, Luna. I cradled my burning arm against my chest, forcing a smile. My fault entirely. Kale glanced up from his phone. You all right? Yes, Alpha. Excuse me. I hurried from the room before he could look too closely, before he could see the tears threatening to spill. In the kitchen, I ran cold water over the burn, adding it to the collection of injuries I'd accumulated over the years. This one wasn't even that bad. Not compared to what usually came when Vivian and I were alone. 7 years ago. I had been 17 when I arrived at the Shadow Moon Pack, an orphaned Omega with nowhere else to go. My parents died in a rogue attack, leaving me with nothing but the clothes on my back and a desperate need for shelter. Vivian found me at the border, shivering and alone. Poor thing, she'd cooed, wrapping a warm cloak around my shoulders. You'll stay with us. I'll take care of you personally. And she had. For 3 whole months, she was everything I'd lost, kind, gentle, protective. She gave me a room, taught me how to serve the pack, treated me like the daughter she never had. Then Kale noticed me. It was innocent, he'd simply thanked me for organizing his office, commented that I did good work. But Vivian saw. And everything changed. That night, she came to my room with a smile that didn't reach her eyes. You're getting too comfortable here, Elara. I think we need to clarify your position. She'd grabbed my wrist, her nails digging in hard enough to draw blood. You are nothing. You exist because I allow it. And if you ever think you can take what's mine, I will make you wish you'd died with your parents. The first beating came an hour later. By morning, I understood my place. I was her property. Her secret. Her outlet for whatever darkness lived inside her perfect exterior. And I couldn't leave. Omegas without pack protection rarely survived. She knew it. I knew it. So I stayed. And I learned to be invisible. Present day. You're distracted today. I jumped, the knife slipping from my hand. Vivian stood in the kitchen doorway, arms crossed, expression unreadable. I apologize, Luna. I'll focus. You've been looking at him more lately. She moved closer, backing me against the counter. During breakfast. During pack meetings. You think I don't notice? I don't, I wasn't. Liar. Her hand shot out, gripping my jaw hard enough to bruise. You forget yourself, Elara. You forget what you are. I'm sorry, I choked out. Please, Luna. I didn't mean anything by it. She released me with a shove, walking to the fireplace where the silver poker rested among the flames. My stomach dropped. No, I whispered. Please, not again. Then stop. Looking. At. Him. Each word was punctuated by a step toward me, the glowing poker in her hand. He is mine. This pack is mine. You are mine. The burn took 30 seconds. It felt like hours. When she finally left, I collapsed against the wall, cradling my arm as silent tears streamed down my face. The wound would scar, they always did. Another mark to add to the collection hidden beneath my sleeves. In my basement room that night, I treated the burn with the emergency kit I kept under my bed. Bandages, antiseptic, pain medication I'd stolen from the pack clinic. I'd become an expert at wound care over the years. The mirror showed a stranger, dark circles under green eyes, cheeks too hollow, brown hair pulled back in a severe bun. I looked older than 24. Looked tired. Looked defeated. I rolled up my sleeves, examining the landscape of scars that covered both arms. Silver burns, claw marks, the word nothing carved into my left shoulder. A map of 7 years under Vivian's control. You deserve this, I whispered to my reflection, repeating the words Vivian had drilled into my head. You're nothing. You're lucky she lets you stay. I almost believed it. The next evening, the pack gathered in the grand hall for the monthly meeting. I served drinks and appetizers, moving through the crowd like a ghost. Invisible. Silent. Safe. Alpha Kale stood at the front of the room, commanding and confident as he addressed the pack. Beside him, Vivian glowed with pride and beauty, the perfect Luna. No one knew what she really was. Before we conclude, Kale announced, his voice carrying across the hall, I want to make an announcement. He took Vivian's hand, smiling down at her with genuine affection. Tomorrow, we'll be holding a special ceremony to reaffirm our mate bond. 7 years together, and she's still the best thing that ever happened to me. The pack erupted in applause and cheers. Vivian beamed, accepting congratulations from those nearby. I felt sick. As the crowd mingled, I retreated to the kitchen to prepare the next course. I was arranging dessert plates when I felt her presence behind me. Elara. I turned to find Vivian alone in the doorway, her expression serene. But her eyes held something dark. Something final. She moved close, her voice dropping to a whisper only I could hear. After tomorrow, I won't need to hide anymore. Her smile was razor sharp. You'll disappear, and no one will ever know you existed. My blood ran cold. What? Did you really think I'd let you stay forever? You've served your purpose, little Omega. You've been my stress relief, my entertainment. But I'm tired of you. She traced a finger down my scarred arm, and I couldn't suppress my flinch. After the ceremony, after my bond with Kale is strengthened, you're going to have an accident. So tragic. So unfortunate. You can't. I can do whatever I want. I'm the Luna. She leaned closer, her breath hot against my ear. Run if you'd like. It'll make the hunt more fun. But there's nowhere you can go that I won't find you. She pulled back, her public smile sliding into place as footsteps approached. Thank you for your hard work tonight, Elara. You're dismissed. I watched her glide back to the party, back to Kale's side, back to playing the role of beloved Luna. And I realized with crystal clarity, she was going to kill me. Tomorrow, after she secured her position, after the pack celebrated their bond, I would disappear. Just another tragic loss. Just another Omega who couldn't handle pack life. No one would question it. No one would investigate. No one would care. Because I was nothing. Just like she'd always said. I stood in that kitchen, surrounded by the sounds of celebration, my arm throbbing from today's burn, and felt something crack inside my chest. 7 years of abuse. 7 years of suffering in silence. 7 years of believing I deserved this. And now it would end with my death. Unless I found the courage to do something I should have done years ago. Unless I stopped being invisible. Unless I fought back. The dessert plates blurred as tears filled my eyes. Outside, the pack laughed and celebrated, completely unaware that their Luna was a monster. That their alpha's mate was planning murder. That the silent servant girl was finally, desperately, out of options. I had less than 24 hours to decide, accept my fate, or risk everything to survive. The choice should have been easy. But when you've been broken for so long, sometimes dying feels safer than fighting. I wiped my eyes, picked up the dessert tray, and walked back into the hall. One more night of service. One more night of silence. And then I'd have to choose. Live or die. Fight or flee. Speak or disappear forever. The silver poker's burn pulsed on my arm like a countdown. Tick. 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 If you are enjoying this video, do well to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Chapter 2. I didn't sleep that night. How could I, knowing I had hours left to live? By dawn, I was already in the grand hall, preparing for the ceremony. My hands shook as I arranged white roses and silver candles, each movement mechanical. Around me, pack members bustled with excitement, hanging banners and setting up chairs for the reaffirmation ceremony. No one noticed the servant girl with death hanging over her head. More flowers on the archway. Vivian's voice rang out, bright and cheerful. She floated through the hall in a white silk robe, directing preparations like a conductor leading an orchestra. This needs to be perfect. Absolutely perfect. Our eyes met across the room. She smiled. I looked away first, like I always did. Elara. She appeared beside me so suddenly I dropped the vase I was holding. It shattered across the marble floor, water and roses spreading everywhere. I'm sorry, Luna. I'll clean it immediately. Forget the mess. Her voice was sharp now, the sweetness gone. She glanced around, ensuring no one was close enough to hear. I need you to do something for me. My stomach nodded. Of course, Luna. Go to the West Wing. Alpha Kale's grandmother's jewelry box is in the old library, top shelf behind the poetry books. Bring it to my chamber. Her eyes glittered with something predatory. And Elara? Don't let anyone see you. That wing is forbidden for a reason. The West Wing. No one went there except Kale. It had been his parents' domain before they died. This was the setup. The trap she'd planned. Luna, perhaps someone else would be better suited. Are you refusing me? Her hand closed around my wrist, nails digging in. To anyone watching, it looked like an affectionate gesture. I felt skin break. After everything I've done for you? No, Luna. I'll go right away. She released me with a smile. Good girl. Be quick about it. I cleaned up the broken vase with trembling hands, then headed toward the forbidden West Wing. Each step felt like walking toward my execution. The West Wing was silent and dark, dust motes dancing in the streams of morning light filtering through heavy curtains. I'd never been here before, none of the staff had. These rooms held too many memories for the Alpha. I found the library easily enough. Books lined every wall from floor to ceiling, the smell of old paper and leather filling the air. Behind the poetry section on the top shelf, exactly as Vivian said, sat an ornate jewelry box. I climbed the ladder, my injured arm protesting. As my fingers closed around the box, I heard footsteps in the hallway. Heavy. Male. Authoritative. Alpha Kale. Panic seized me. I wasn't supposed to be here. If he found me. Who's there? His voice carried into the library. I scrambled down the ladder too quickly, lost my footing, and crashed to the floor. The jewelry box flew from my hands, contents scattering across the hardwood. Elara? Kale appeared in the doorway, his expression shifting from alert to confused. What are you doing in here? I knelt among the scattered jewelry, frantically gathering pieces. I'm sorry, Alpha. The Luna sent me to retrieve this. I didn't mean to disturb. The Luna sent you to the West Wing? He moved closer, and I felt the temperature in the room shift. Felt the power radiating from him. This area is off limits. I know, Alpha. I apologize. She said it was urgent. My hands wouldn't stop shaking as I tried to collect the necklaces and rings. A ruby bracelet rolled under a chair. Kale crouched beside me, his presence overwhelming. Elara, look at me. I couldn't. If I looked at him, he'd see too much. See the fear. See the truth. Look. At. Me. The Alpha command in his voice left no room for disobedience. Slowly, I raised my eyes to his. This close, I could see flecks of gold in his dark eyes, could smell cedar and pine and something uniquely him. Something that made my wolf whimper inside me. You're trembling, he said quietly. Why? I dropped the jewelry. Luna Vivian will be upset. That's not why you're shaking. His gaze traveled over my face, seeing more than I wanted him to. How long have you been afraid, Elara? The question hit me like a physical blow. 7 years. I'd been afraid for 7 years. I'm not afraid, Alpha. Just clumsy. I should return these to the Luna before. Before what? His hand reached toward my face, and I flinched violently. The movement hung between us, damning in its clarity. Kale's jaw tightened. Elara. There you are. Vivian's voice shattered the moment. She swept into the library, her expression perfectly calibrated, concern mixed with disappointment. Elara, I've been looking everywhere for you. What's taking so long? I scrambled to my feet, clutching the jewelry box. I'm sorry, Luna. I dropped. What is this? Vivian's eyes widened as she spotted a diamond necklace still on the floor. She picked it up slowly, reverently, then turned to Kale with tears glistening in her eyes. Kale, this was your mother's. Her most precious piece. I know. His voice was careful, controlled. Elara. Vivian's tone shifted to steel beneath silk. Why were you taking this? What? I stared at her in confusion. I wasn't taking anything. You told me to retrieve the jewelry box. I did no such thing. She looked at Kale, her expression wounded. I would never send anyone to this wing. You know how sacred these items are to your family. Ice flooded my veins. Luna, you told me to come here. You said. Are you calling me a liar? Vivian's voice rose, perfectly pitched for the pack members who were suddenly appearing in the hallway, drawn by the commotion. In front of the Alpha? No, I looked at Kale desperately. Alpha, please. She sent me here. I would never. She's been acting strangely all morning, Vivian continued, moving to Kale's side. Dropping things, disappearing. I thought she was just nervous about the ceremony, but now. She gestured to the scattered jewelry. My mother's necklace was in that box too. The sapphire one. It's gone. It's not gone, I protested. I didn't take anything. Empty your pockets, Cale commanded, his expression unreadable. My hands shook as I turned my pockets inside out. Empty. Check her apron, Vivian suggested softly. I wasn't wearing an apron. I'd taken it off when I came to the West Wing. Which meant someone had planted evidence elsewhere. Beta Damien, Cale called out. His second-in-command appeared immediately. Search the servants' quarters. Look for anything that doesn't belong. No, I whispered. Please, Alpha. I didn't steal anything. You have to believe me. I want to believe you, Cale said, and something in his voice sounded almost pained. But you were in a forbidden area, with my family's jewelry scattered on the floor. Until we sort this out, you'll wait in the detention cells. Cale, are you sure that's necessary? Vivian placed a gentle hand on his arm. Perhaps we're overreacting. She broke pack law by entering the West Wing, Cale said firmly. And if something was stolen, we need to investigate properly. Guards. 2 pack warriors appeared, flanking me. I didn't resist as they led me away. What was the point? Vivian had orchestrated this perfectly. The setup, the witnesses, the missing necklace that would undoubtedly turn up in my room. This was how she'd make me disappear. Not a quiet murder, but a public execution for theft. As they marched me through the halls, past pack members whispering and staring, I caught Vivian's eye one last time. She smiled. The detention cells beneath the pack house were cold and dark. They smelled of damp stone and old fear. I'd never been down here before, had never given anyone reason to punish me. Until now. The guard locked me in the furthest cell, then disappeared upstairs without a word. I sank onto the narrow cot, my mind racing through the impossibility of my situation. No one would believe me. Why would they? I was just a servant, and Vivian was the beloved Luna. Even if I told them about the abuse, about her threat last night, it would sound like lies. Like desperate accusations from a thief trying to save herself. I was going to die here. The thought should have terrified me. Instead, I felt numb. Maybe I'd been dying slowly for 7 years. Maybe this was just the final act. Hours passed. Or maybe minutes. Time felt meaningless in the darkness. Then I heard soft footsteps on the stairs. Miss Alara? A young voice whispered. Are you awake? I moved to the cell bars. A girl stood there, maybe 16, with dark curly hair and familiar brown eyes. Maya. I'd seen her around the pack house, she worked in the gardens. Maya? What are you doing down here? She glanced nervously over her shoulder before pulling out a cloth bundle. I brought you food. And... She hesitated. I needed to talk to you. Alone. I took the bundle, bread, cheese, an apple. My stomach hadn't been able to handle food all day, but I accepted it gratefully. Thank you. But you shouldn't be here. If the Luna finds out. The Luna. Maya's voice turned bitter. That's what I need to tell you. She's not who everyone thinks she is. I leaned closer to the bars. What do you mean? My mother, she was a pack historian. She kept records, investigated our pack's lineage and history. Maya's hands twisted together anxiously. 3 years ago, she came to me worried. Said she'd found something in the old Alpha's medical records. Something wrong. My pulse quickened. What did she find? Evidence of poisoning. Wolfsbane, administered in small doses over months. It killed him slowly, made it look like natural causes. Maya's eyes filled with tears. She was going to tell Alpha Cale. Was going to show him the proof. What happened to her? She disappeared. Maya's voice broke. They said she ran away with a rogue from a neighboring pack. But my mother would never abandon me. Never. The pieces clicked into place with horrible clarity. Vivian. I've been too scared to say anything. I'm just a kid, who would believe me? But then I saw what happened today. Saw her setting you up. Maya reached through the bars, pressing something into my hand. Before my mother disappeared, she hid her research. I found this page yesterday. I think she wanted someone to know the truth. I unfolded the torn diary page, tilting it toward the dim light. Confirmed, previous Alpha Cale Thompson died of systematic wolfsbane poisoning. Trace amounts found in personal effects, his favorite bourbon specifically. Only one person had consistent access, Luna Vivian. But why would she kill her mate's father? New discovery, current Alpha Cale showing same symptoms. Headaches, memory gaps, weakened wolf connection. Tested his private study, wolfsbane residue in his coffee thermos. She's poisoning him too. Most disturbing finding, medical records show mate bond inconsistencies. Cale's wolf should have recognized his true mate years ago. Suspect magical interference. Need to investigate Luna's background, rumors of witch ancestry. If I'm right, the true mate is close. Living in the pack house. The Luna knows and is actively suppressing the bond. Must warn Cale before. The entry ended there. Cut off, like the woman who wrote it. My hands shook as I read it again. And again. Poisoning. Suppressed mate bonds. Witch ancestry. I've felt something for years, I whispered, the realization crashing over me. Every time I'm near the Alpha, my wolf responds. I thought it was wrong, thought I was broken for feeling that way about my Luna's mate. It wasn't wrong, Maya said urgently. Don't you see? You're his true mate. And the Luna has been poisoning him, suppressing the bond, keeping you both in the dark. 7 years. 7 years of torture, of believing I deserved the pain, of watching Cale with Vivian while something inside me screamed that this was wrong. Because it was wrong. All of it. Vivian had stolen everything. His father. His true mate. His choice. And she'd made me suffer for it. Why tell me this now? I asked, my voice hollow. Because you're going to die if you don't fight back, Maya said bluntly. And because if she kills you, the Alpha will never know the truth. He'll be stuck with her forever, slowly dying while she trailed off, looking sick. While she what? I've been watching her. She's planning something. After today's ceremony, after she solidifies her position. I think she's going to finish what she started. Kill the Alpha and take full control of the pack. Before I could respond, footsteps echoed on the stairs. Maya's eyes widened in panic. I have to go. But Miss Alara, please. Fight. For yourself. For the Alpha. For all of us. She pressed something else into my hand, a small key. Storage room, 3rd floor. My mother's full research is hidden there. Behind the boxes marked Winter Festival 2019. She vanished into the shadows just as 2 guards appeared. The Alpha demands to see you, one of them announced, unlocking my cell. Now. They hauled me to my feet, and as they led me back upstairs, I clutched Maya's diary page in my fist. The truth burned in my mind like fire. Cale was my mate. My true mate. And Vivian had been destroying us both for years. The question was, would he believe me? Or would I die trying to convince him? If you are enjoying this video, do well to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Chapter 3. They didn't take me to the tribunal room. Instead, the guards marched me through the private corridors of the pack house, past the formal areas where justice was typically served, straight to the Alpha's personal chambers. My heart hammered against my ribs as they stopped before the heavy oak door. One guard knocked. Alpha, we've brought the prisoner. Send her in. Alone. The guards exchanged glances but obeyed, opening the door and pushing me inside before closing it behind me. Kale's private chamber was nothing like I'd imagined. Masculine and simple, a large bed, dark furniture, walls lined with books. But what captured my attention was the alpha himself, pacing like a caged animal in front of the fireplace. He looked wrong. His usual controlled demeanor had cracked. His hair was disheveled as if he'd been running his hands through it repeatedly. His shirt was half unbuttoned, and even from across the room, I could see the tension radiating from his body. Alpha? My voice came out smaller than I intended. He spun to face me, and I gasped. His eyes flickered between human brown and wolf gold, like he was fighting for control. Explain. I didn't steal anything. I don't care about the damned necklace. He moved closer, and my wolf stirred inside me, responding to his proximity in a way that made my skin tingle. Something's not right here. Hasn't been right for. He pressed his palms against his temples. Why can't I think straight? I clutched Maya's diary page in my pocket, my mind racing. He was experiencing the poisoning symptoms. Right now. Alpha, you need to sit down. Don't tell me what I need. His voice rose, then he seemed to catch himself, taking a shaky breath. I've been having headaches. Memory gaps. My wolf has been restless for months, pacing, growling, but I don't know why. His eyes fixed on me with an intensity that made me want to run and move closer at the same time. And then there's you. Me? Every time you're near me, my wolf calms down. Then you leave, and he goes insane. Kale stalked closer, and I backed up until I hit the wall. Why? What are you to me? I'm just a servant. Bullshit. He was right in front of me now, so close I could feel his heat. My wolf knows you. Recognizes you. But it's like there's a fog in my head, preventing me from understanding why. The wolfsbane. The suppressed bond. It was all true. Alpha, I need to tell you something. About the Luna. Show me your arms. The command froze me in place. What? Your arms. You always wear long sleeves, even in summer. You flinched away from me earlier in the library. His voice dropped to something dangerous. Show. Me. I can't. That wasn't a request. The alpha command in his voice was absolute. My hands moved to my sleeves without conscious thought, but I couldn't make myself roll them up. 7 years of hiding, of shame, of believing I deserved the scars. Please, I whispered. Don't make me. Kale's hand shot out, gripping my wrist. Not hard, not painful, but firm. If someone is hurting you, I need to know. I'm your alpha. Your protection is my responsibility. Something in his voice broke through my fear. Not the command, but the genuine concern beneath it. You didn't protect me before, I said quietly. His face went pale. What? For 7 years, I've lived in this house. Served your meals. Cleaned your floors. And you never saw me. Never noticed. Tears burned my eyes. So don't pretend you care now just because your wolf is confused. Elara. I yanked my arm away from him, and the movement was too violent. My sleeve caught on his watch, and the fabric tore with a terrible ripping sound. Time stopped. We both stared at my exposed forearm. The silver burn from yesterday's poker was fresh and angry. But surrounding it were layers upon layers of scars. Old burns, claw marks, the silvery lines of a blade. And carved into my skin in precise, deliberate letters, worthless. Kale made a sound I'd never heard from him before, something between a whimper and a growl. His hand trembled as he reached toward my arm, hovering without touching. Who did this to you? His voice was barely human. I tried to pull my sleeve down, but he caught my other wrist. Gently this time, but inexorable. He pushed that sleeve up too. More scars. More burns. The word nothing carved into my bicep. Elara. My name came out broken. Who? It doesn't matter. Who? The roar shook the windows. His eyes flashed pure gold, his canines extending. The wolf was taking over. The Luna. The words burst from me. Vivian. For 7 years, she's. I didn't get to finish. Cale's body convulsed, muscles rippling as his wolf surged forward. The partial shift was violent, claws extending, bones cracking, his face elongating slightly as the wolf took control. He threw back his head and roared, and the sound was pure rage. Pure anguish. The desk exploded as his clawed hand slammed into it. The chair followed, splintering against the wall. He was destroying everything in reach, his control shattered completely. Alpha. I pressed myself against the wall, terrified but also, something else. My wolf was responding to his, calling to him, trying to soothe the fury. The door burst open. Beta Damien rushed in, his eyes widening at the destruction. Cale, you need to calm down. Get out. Cale's voice was barely recognizable. Not happening. Damien moved with the confidence of someone who'd known the Alpha his whole life. You're going feral. You need to breathe. Cale lunged at him, and Damien barely dodged. Cale, stop. This isn't you. She hurt her. Cale's words were distorted by his partial shift. He clutched his head, stumbling. Why can't I say it? Why can't I? The bond, I whispered, finally understanding. Vivian suppressed it with magic. She's been poisoning you to keep you weak, to keep you from recognizing. Recognizing what? Damien demanded, moving between Cale and me protectively. That I'm his mate. The words felt like breaking chains. His true mate. The room went deadly silent. Cale's head snapped up, his gold eyes locking onto mine. What? I pulled out Maya's diary page with shaking hands. The previous Alpha, your father, was poisoned. Vivian killed him. And she's been poisoning you too, for years. Wolfsbane in small doses to cloud your judgment and suppress the mate bond. That's insane, Damien said, but his voice lacked conviction. Is it? I turned to Cale. The headaches. Memory gaps. Weakening connection to your wolf. Have you felt like yourself lately, Alpha? Or has it felt like you're living in a fog? Cale's face drained of color. His hand went to his chest, right over his heart. The coffee. She brings me coffee every morning. Special blend, she says. For my health. Laced with wolfsbane, I confirmed. Just enough to keep you confused. To keep you from realizing that your Luna isn't your mate at all. But the bond ceremony 7 years ago was fake. Or forced. Or manipulated with magic. I took a tentative step toward him. Haven't you wondered why your wolf never fully accepted her? Why you've always felt distant? Cale's legs seemed to give out. He sank onto the edge of his bed, his head in his hands. The partial shift receded as shock took over. All this time. 7 years of my life. She took everything from you, I said softly. Your father. Your true mate. Your pack's safety. And she's been torturing me because I was a threat. Because even suppressed, your wolf recognized me. The East Tower, Cale said suddenly, looking up. She goes there at night. Says she's praying or meditating. I've never been allowed inside. That's where she does the rituals, I said, remembering what Maya had told me. Where she works her magic. Magic. Damien's voice was hollow. She's a witch? A dark one, apparently. I pulled my sleeves down, suddenly self-conscious under their stares. She's been planning something. After today's ceremony, after she solidifies her position as Luna. She's going to kill me. Cale stood abruptly, his expression hardening into something lethal. Finish what she started with my father and take control of the pack herself. We need proof, Damien said. We can't just accuse the Luna of proof. Kale's voice went deadly quiet. He moved to me, gently taking my wrist and holding up my scarred arm. This is proof. 7 years of torture under my own roof while I was too blind to see. Kale, I know you're angry, but we need to be smart about this. Where is she? The roar was back, his wolf surging forward again. Where is my mate's tormentor? The temperature in the room dropped. Right here, darling. We all spun toward the doorway. Vivian stood there, looking as serene and beautiful as ever in a silver gown meant for the ceremony. But something was different. Her eyes, they glowed with an unnatural purple light. Oh, Kale. She smiled, and it was the smile of a predator who'd already won. You found my little pet's lies. I'm impressed she finally worked up the courage to speak. Her gaze slid to me, cold and amused. Don't worry, I'll dispose of her myself this time. Make it quick. Painless, even, if you're lucky. You tortured her. Kale's voice shook with barely contained rage. You've been poisoning me. You killed my father. I did. No denial. No remorse. Just simple acknowledgement. And I'd do it all again. Your father was weak, sentimental. He would have found out about you and your little Omega mate eventually. So I removed him. How? Damien demanded. How have you been doing this? Vivian laughed, and the sound echoed unnaturally. She raised one hand, and purple energy crackled around her fingers. Did you really think I was just some she-wolf? I'm a blood witch, you fools. I've been using your precious servant's blood in my rituals for years. It's how I suppressed the mate bond. How I kept Kale weak and compliant. Her eyes fixed on Kale with possessive hunger. You were supposed to be mine. My perfect puppet Alpha. But she ruined everything by surviving this long. The purple energy intensified, forming into something like lightning in her palm. I should have killed her years ago. But I enjoyed breaking her too much. Vivian's smile turned vicious. Now I'll correct that mistake. And Kale? You'll forget this ever happened. I'll brew a stronger poison. Make you mine completely. You're insane, I whispered. I'm powerful. The energy in her hand pulsed. And you're in my way. She released the magic. Kale moved faster than I'd ever seen, shoving me behind him as the purple lightning struck his chest. He roared in pain, dropping to one knee. Kale. Damien lunged for Vivian, but she waved her hand and he flew backward, slamming into the wall hard enough to crack it. Pathetic. Vivian stepped fully into the room, magic swirling around her like a storm. Did you really think you could stop me? I've been planning this for a decade. I chose this pack, chose Kale specifically, because of his bloodline. Strong alpha genetics to breed strong heirs. But first, her eyes locked onto me. First, I eliminate the competition. She raised both hands, purple energy building to a crescendo. This was it. This was how I died. But then Kale rose. His eyes were pure gold, his body radiating alpha power that made the air itself vibrate. The wolf wasn't just surfacing, it was taking complete control. And for the first time since I'd known him, Kale looked truly, terrifyingly dangerous. You hurt my mate. Each word was a death sentence. Vivian's confident smile faltered. Just a fraction. But it was enough. If you are enjoying this video, do well to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Chapter 4. The alpha power radiating from Kale was unlike anything I'd ever felt. It pressed against my skin, made my wolf submit and surge forward at the same time. This was what a true alpha looked like when unleashed, and it was terrifying. Vivian's smile had vanished completely. For the first time since I'd known her, I saw something close to fear flicker across her face. Kale, darling, let's talk about this rationally. You tortured my mate. His voice was barely human, distorted by the wolf's presence. For 7 years, while I slept under the same roof. While you shared my bed. I had to. Vivian's composure cracked, purple magic flaring around her defensively. Do you know how hard it was to maintain the suppression spell? I needed her blood monthly for the rituals. Fresh blood from your true mate, infused with my magic, was the only thing strong enough to hide the bond from you. My stomach turned. That's why you always cut me during the abuse. You were collecting blood. Smart girl. Vivian's eyes glowed brighter. Though I'll admit, I enjoyed the cutting for more than just practical reasons. Watching you bleed, knowing I was using your own blood to steal your mate, it was poetic. Kale moved so fast he blurred. One moment he was across the room, the next his hand was around Vivian's throat, lifting her off the ground. Give me one reason I shouldn't kill you right now. Vivian choked out a laugh, even as her feet dangled. Because, you can't. The poison, already too deep in your system. She waved her hand weakly, and purple energy exploded outward. Kale flew backward, crashing through his dresser. I screamed his name, moving toward him instinctively. Stay back. Damien had recovered, pulling himself from the cracked wall. Blood ran down his temple, but his eyes were alert. She's too powerful right now. Not powerful enough to fight a whole pack, came a voice from the doorway. Pack warriors flooded into the room, at least a dozen of them, all shifting into fighting stances. Beta Damien must have mind-linked for backup during the chaos. Vivian's expression turned calculating. She was outnumbered, but the purple magic swirling around her intensified. You think numbers matter against blood magic? She thrust both hands forward, and the purple lightning erupted in all directions. Warriors screamed as the magic struck them, their bodies convulsing. Damien raised a shield, some kind of defensive magic I didn't know pack members could use, but even he was driven to his knees by the force. I stood frozen, watching the carnage, when Vivian's eyes locked onto me. You. Purple energy coalesced into a spear of pure magic, aimed directly at my heart. Time to end this. She released it. I didn't think. Didn't plan. I just threw my hands up instinctively. And the magic stopped. Not deflected. Not absorbed. Just stopped. Hung in the air inches from my palms, crackling and writhing but unable to move forward. Everyone froze, staring. What? Vivian's eyes widened. That's impossible. You're an Omega. You can't. The purple spear exploded into harmless sparks. She's not just an Omega, Kale said, pulling himself to his feet. His shirt was torn, blood seeping from cuts across his chest, but his eyes were sharp. Are you, Alara? I don't understand, I whispered, staring at my hands. They tingled with residual energy, something warm and bright that felt nothing like Vivian's dark magic. Neither do I. Vivian's voice had gone cold. But it changes nothing. You're all still going to die. She began chanting in a language I didn't recognize, and the air itself seemed to darken. The purple magic around her multiplied, forming into shapes, wolves made of shadow and energy, at least 20 of them. Shadow beasts, Damien breathed. She's been hiding her true power this whole time. The shadow wolves attacked. Chaos erupted. Pack warriors fought creatures made of magic, their claws passing through sometimes, connecting other times. Damien coordinated the defense, but we were losing ground fast. Kale charged Vivian directly, his alpha strength allowing him to push through the shadow beasts. But I could see it, the poison was affecting him. His movements were slower than they should be, his strikes less precise. When Vivian hit him with another blast of purple lightning, he couldn't dodge in time. No. I ran forward without thinking, that same instinct from before rising up. When the magic came toward me this time, I didn't just block it, I grabbed it. The purple energy wrapped around my hands like physical rope. It burned, searing my palms, but I held on. And somehow, impossibly, I pulled. Vivian stumbled forward, her spell disrupted. "What are you?" she hissed. "I don't know," I said honestly. "But I'm done being your victim." I yanked harder, and the connection between us snapped. Vivian screamed as her own magic backlashed, sending her flying across the room. The shadow beasts dissolved instantly without her concentration maintaining them. For a moment, we had her. Then Vivian laughed. She pulled herself upright, blood trickling from her nose, her dress torn, but her eyes blazing with manic determination. "Clever girl. But you're too late." She bit her own wrist, blood welling up, and began drawing symbols in the air with it. The symbols glowed, hanging in space like burning brands. A portal, Damien realized. "She's running. Stop her." Kale lunged, but Vivian completed the spell. Reality tore open behind her, a swirling vortex of purple and black that smelled of rot and dark places. 3 days, Vivian announced, backing toward the portal. Her eyes fixed on Kale with possessive fury. "The wolfsbane has spread to your heart. In 3 days, it will stop beating. Only I have the antidote. I'll find another way." "There is no other way." Her voice rose. "I've been poisoning you for 3 years, Kale. Every morning, every night, building it up in your system. The only cure is my blood, mixed with specific herbs only I know." She smiled viciously. "Come to the Blackwood ruins. Alone. Or watch your mate die with you. Don't you dare threaten her." Too late. Vivian's gaze shifted to me, and something in her expression made my blood run cold. "I've been using her blood for 7 years. We're connected now, through magic deeper than you can imagine. I can find her anywhere. Hurt her anywhere. Vivian." She stepped into the portal. 2 days, Kale. Then I start making her suffer. The portal snapped shut. Silence fell over the destroyed chamber. Pack warriors groaned, injured but alive. Damien leaned against the wall, exhausted from the fight. And Kale. Kale collapsed. "Alpha." I caught him before he hit the ground, his weight nearly taking us both down. His skin was burning up, fever hot, and his eyes had lost their golden glow. "Damien, get the healer. Now." I screamed. Dr. Chen arrived within minutes, her medical bag clutched in her hands. She was the pack's head healer, a small woman in her 50s with silver-streaked hair and sharp, intelligent eyes. She took one look at Kale sprawled on what remained of his bed and swore viciously. "How long has he been poisoned?" She was already pulling out instruments, checking his pulse, his pupils, his breathing. 3 years, apparently, Damien said grimly. "Wolfsbane in his coffee." 3 years? Dr. Chen's face went pale. That should have killed him already. His alpha constitution must have been fighting it this whole time, but... She pressed her stethoscope to his chest, listening intently. "His heart is struggling. The poison has reached the cardiac tissue. Can you cure it?" I gripped Kale's hand, unable to let go even though I barely knew him. The mate bond, now partially freed, was pulling at me, demanding I stay close. Protect. Heal. Not without knowing the exact compound she used. Wolfsbane alone wouldn't cause this level of systemic damage. She must have mixed it with other herbs, other poisons. Dr. Chen looked up at me, her expression grave. The witch was right. Without the antidote, he has days at most. No. The word came out fierce. Find another way. There has to be. "Let me examine you," Dr. Chen interrupted, her eyes suddenly focused on me with unnerving intensity. "Come here, girl." "Why?" "I'm fine. Humor me." Reluctantly, I released Kale's hand and moved closer. Dr. Chen took my wrist, checking my pulse, then pulled out a small knife. "This will sting." She pricked my finger before I could protest, collecting a drop of blood on a glass slide. She held it up to the light, her expression growing more shocked by the second. Impossible, she breathed. What? Your blood. Dr. Chen looked at me like I was a ghost. It's not omega blood. There's alpha essence in it. Strong alpha essence. Ancient, even. That's impossible, Damien said what we were all thinking. She's registered as an omega. Has been for 7 years. Then the registration is wrong. Or. Dr. Chen's eyes widened. Or her bloodline has been suppressed. Magically hidden, just like the mate bond. The room spun. I don't understand. Ancient alpha bloodlines are rare. Most died out centuries ago in the pack wars. But some survived, went into hiding. Dr. Chen set down her instruments, her voice taking on the tone of someone reciting pack history. They had abilities beyond normal alphas. Could resist dark magic. Could heal with touch. Could stop dark magic with their bare hands, I finished quietly, remembering how I'd grabbed Vivian's spell. Exactly. Dr. Chen looked between Kale and me. That's why she needed your blood specifically. Ancient alpha blood is powerful enough to suppress a true mate bond. And if she's been using it for 7 years. She trailed off, calculating. She's probably strengthened her own magic with it too. Made herself more powerful than any which should be. So Alara has ancient alpha blood, Damien said. How does that help Kale? I don't know yet. But it might. I never heard the rest. Pain exploded through my body, searing, terrible pain that felt like my veins were on fire. I screamed, dropping to my knees. Alara. Kale tried to sit up but couldn't, his own weakness preventing him from reaching me. The pain intensified, concentrated in my left forearm. I watched in horror as my skin began to burn from the inside out, letters forming like a brand. 2 days. He comes alone or I'll make her beg for death. It's her, Dr. Chen said urgently. The blood connection. She's torturing her through the magic. I couldn't respond. Couldn't breathe. The pain was everywhere now, nerve endings on fire, my wolf howling in agony. Through the haze, I felt hands on my face. Kale, somehow having found the strength to kneel beside me. Fight it, he commanded, his voice cutting through the pain. You're stronger than her magic. You're ancient alpha. Fight it. I wanted to. Tried to. But the pain was too much, dragging me under like a riptide. The last thing I heard before darkness claimed me was Kale's anguished roar, and the sound of my own screaming. Then nothing that if you are enjoying this video do well to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Chapter 5. I woke to the smell of cedar and pine, and a presence beside me that made my wolf purr with contentment. My eyes opened slowly. Kale's bedroom. His bed. And the alpha himself sitting in a chair he'd pulled close, watching me with an expression so raw it made my chest ache. You're awake. His voice was rough, like he'd been screaming. Or crying. I tried to sit up, and pain lanced through my left arm. The branded message was still there, angry red letters burned into my skin, 2 days. Don't move too quickly. Kale stood, his hand hovering near my shoulder but not quite touching, like he was afraid he'd hurt me. Dr. Chen gave you something for the pain, but the magical burns are difficult to treat. I looked at him, really looked. He was shirtless, bandages wrapped around his torso where Vivian's magic had struck. Dark circles shadowed his eyes, and his skin had an unhealthy pallor. The poison was working faster now. How long was I out? 6 hours. He finally touched me, his fingers brushing my forehead with devastating gentleness. You were screaming for the first 2. I couldn't stop it. Couldn't help you. His jaw clenched. Again. Kale. Don't. He pulled back, running his hands through his already disheveled hair. Don't make excuses for me. For 7 years, you suffered under my roof. Under my protection. And I saw nothing. Did nothing. You didn't know. I should have known. His voice broke. You're my mate. My wolf should have recognized you, protected you, even through whatever magic she used. But I was too blind, too weak. You were poisoned. I forced myself to sit up despite the pain, needing him to hear this. She manipulated everything. Your father, the mate bond, your judgment. None of this is your fault. Your scars say differently. His eyes dropped to my arms, still covered in bandages Dr. Chen must have applied. Can I? He gestured helplessly. I knew what he was asking. Permission to see the full extent of what Vivian had done. Slowly, I peeled back the bandages on my right arm. The burns, the claw marks, the carved words, all of it exposed in the soft lamplight. Kale made a sound like he'd been gutted. I'm going to kill her, he said quietly. Slowly. Painfully. I'm going to make her beg for death the way she made you suffer. Get in line. I tried for levity, but my voice shook. He moved to the edge of the bed, his hands trembling as they hovered over my scarred skin. May I? I nodded, not trusting my voice. His fingers traced the marks with unbearable gentleness, like I was made of glass. Where he touched, warmth spread, not painful, but soothing. The mate bond, I realized. Even partially suppressed, it was trying to heal me. I'm sorry, he whispered. For every moment you were afraid. For every time she hurt you. For not seeing you when you were right in front of me. His thumb traced the word worthless carved into my forearm. You are not this. You have never been this. Tears burned my eyes. Sometimes I believed it. Believed I deserved. No. The alpha command in his voice made me look up. You deserved safety. Protection. Love. And I will spend the rest of my life making up for failing you. You don't owe me. I owe you everything. His eyes met mine, brown with flecks of gold, intense and honest. You're my mate, Elara. My true mate. And even if we break this curse, even if we survive Vivian, I don't deserve you. But I'll fight for you anyway. The mate bond pulsed between us, stronger now, pulling us together like gravity. I wanted to close the distance, to touch him, too. A knock at the door broke the moment. Alpha? Damien's voice. We found something in the archives. You both need to see this. The pack archives were housed in the oldest part of the pack house, a stone cellar filled with centuries of records. Damien led us down the spiral stairs, where Dr. Chen and several pack historians waited around an ancient wooden table covered in yellow documents. Show them, Damien ordered. An elderly woman named Margaret, the head archivist, carefully lifted a leather-bound journal. We've been searching records of ancient Alpha bloodlines, trying to understand Elara's heritage. Her eyes, sharp despite her age, fixed on me. We found something remarkable. She opened the journal to a page marked with ribbon. A family tree, intricately drawn, with names and dates going back centuries. At the bottom, one name was circled in red, Elara Silvercrest. That's my name, I breathed. But my last name is Moore. We know. It's the name you were registered under when you arrived here 7 years ago. Margaret pulled out another document, my registration papers. But there's no record of any Moore family in the surrounding territories. It was a false identity. Why would someone give me a false identity? Protection. Dr. Chen stepped forward, her expression grave. The Silvercrest bloodline was hunted to extinction 20 years ago. Dark witches targeted them specifically because ancient alpha blood is the only thing powerful enough to fuel certain, forbidden rituals. My stomach dropped. Immortality rituals? Among others. How did you? Vivian. She needs my blood for immortality. I looked at Kale. That's her endgame. Not just power, but eternal life. Margaret nodded grimly. The Silvercrest massacre happened when you were 4 years old. Your parents, Dimitri and Elise Silvercrest, were killed along with most of their pack. The only survivor was their daughter, who disappeared that night. Someone must have hidden you, Damien said. Suppressed your bloodline, gave you a false Omega identity, and hoped you'd be overlooked. It almost worked. Cale's hand found mine, gripping tightly. Until Vivian found you. She knew. The realization hit me like a blow. All along, she knew what I was. That's why she took me in. Why she's been collecting my blood. For 7 years, she's been strengthening herself with ancient alpha blood while keeping you weak and powerless. Dr. Chen's voice was tight with anger. If she completes the immortality ritual, she becomes unstoppable, Cale finished. We can't let that happen. Agreed. I stood straighter, feeling something shift inside me. Not just determination, but power. Real power, waking up after years of suppression. She's used me for the last time. Cale's eyes gleamed with approval and something hotter. Then we need to prepare. You need to learn to use your abilities. I don't know how. Your instincts will guide you. He looked at Damien. Clear the training grounds. Gather the senior warriors. We're going to see what she can do. An hour later, I stood in the center of the training grounds, facing a dozen of the pack's best warriors. They looked skeptical. I was still small, still looked like an Omega, still bore the physical marks of 7 years of abuse. I don't want to hurt anyone, I said nervously. You won't. Cale stood at the edge of the circle, arms crossed. But his eyes were warm, encouraging. Trust your wolf. Trust your bloodline. Just react. The first warrior lunged. Instinct took over. I didn't think, just moved, faster than I'd ever moved before. My hand shot out, catching his wrist, and I twisted. The warrior, who had at least 80 pounds on me, flipped through the air and landed on his back. Shocked silence. Again, Cale ordered. 2 warriors this time. I dodged the first, used his momentum to throw him into the second. They went down in a tangle of limbs. Again. 4 warriors. Then 6. Each time, my body knew what to do, moving with speed and strength that should have been impossible. The ancient alpha blood was waking up, filling me with power I'd never imagined. Everyone, Cale commanded. All at once. Alpha, that's not safe, one warrior protested. Do it. All 12 warriors charged. And something inside me snapped. Stop. The command ripped from my throat with a force that shook the air itself. Every single warrior froze mid-stride. Not because they chose to, but because they couldn't move. An alpha command, powerful enough to override their own will, their own wolf. They dropped to their knees in submission, heads bowed, unable to resist. I stood in the center of the circle, breathing hard, power crackling through my veins like electricity. This was what I was meant to be. Not a victim. Not a servant. An alpha. I looked at Cale and found him staring at me with an expression that made heat pool in my stomach. Pride. Desire. Possession. The mate bond surged between us, no longer just a pull but a demand. Release them, he said quietly. I didn't know how I'd commanded them, but somehow I knew how to let go. The warriors sagged in relief, gasping. That was. Damien trailed off, shaking his head in wonder. I've never felt an alpha command that strong. Not even from Cale. Ancient alpha blood, Dr. Chen said from the sidelines, her eyes bright with scientific fascination. Bred for war, for leading armies. If she learns to control it. I will, I interrupted. I have to. Cale crossed the training ground in long strides, not stopping until he was right in front of me. Close enough that I had to tilt my head back to meet his eyes. You're magnificent, he said roughly. Everything a true alpha should be. The bond between us pulled tighter, a physical ache that demanded touch. Contact. More. Kale, his name came out breathless. He cupped my face in his hands, his touch gentle despite the raw need in his eyes. I know we barely know each other. I know I have no right to claim you after failing to protect you. But Alara, his thumb brushed my cheekbone. You're mine. My mate. My equal. And I am done pretending I don't feel this. I feel it too, I whispered. I've felt it for years, even when I thought it was wrong. Never wrong. He leaned closer, his breath warm against my lips. May I? I didn't let him finish. I closed the distance, pressing my lips to his in a kiss that was desperate and claiming and right. The mate bond snapped fully into place. Power exploded through both of us, his alpha strength meeting my ancient bloodline, creating something stronger than either of us alone. I felt his wolf recognize mine, felt the connection lock into place with an almost audible click. When we broke apart, both breathing hard, his eyes were pure gold. Mine, he growled. Yours, I agreed. But Kale, we're running out of time. Reality crashed back. The poison in his system. Vivian's ultimatum. 2 days. I know. He rested his forehead against mine. But we'll face it together. As mates. As alphas. Alpha. Maya's voice cut through the moment. The young girl ran toward us, tears streaming down her face. Alpha, Luna, it's Vivian. She's taken children. My blood ran cold. What? 12 pack children. Grabbed them from the school. Maya sobbed. She left a message. Says you have to come to the Blackwood ruins. Both of you. Or she'll kill one child every hour starting at dawn. The training ground erupted in shouts and snarls. Parents screaming for their children. Warriors demanding immediate action. Kale's hand found mine, gripping hard enough to hurt. It's a trap. I know. She'll try to complete her ritual. Use both our blood, ancient alpha and current alpha. She'll become immortal and unstoppable. I know. I looked up at him, saw the same determination in his eyes that I felt in my heart. But we can't let those children die. No. We can't. Kale turned to face his pack, his voice carrying with alpha authority. We go. But not as victims, as predators. We take the fight to her. I nodded. Together. Together, he agreed. As the pack began preparing for battle, I remembered my old room in the basement. The place where I'd spent 7 years hiding, suffering, surviving. I needed to see it one last time before we left. Say goodbye to who I used to be. The room was exactly as I'd left it. Small, sparse, cold. But there, on the bed, was an envelope that hadn't been there before. My hands shook as I opened it. The handwriting was elegant, familiar. Dear daughter. Yes, you read that correctly. I am your mother. Vivian Silvercrest, before I changed my name and my life. Your father, Dimitri, was weak. Sentimental. He wanted to use our ancient bloodline for good, for healing. He didn't understand that power like ours is meant to be seized, used, dominated with. So I killed him. Killed most of our pack. And I was going to kill you too, but then I realized, why waste perfectly good ancient alpha blood? I've been planning this for 20 years, darling. Every moment has led to this. Your suffering was necessary. Your blood was needed. And now, when you come to save those pathetic children, you'll complete my ritual. You were always meant to be my sacrifice. Mother. The letter fell from my numb fingers. Vivian was my mother. She'd killed my father. Destroyed my pack. Hidden me away and then tortured me for 7 years. All to use me as fuel for her immortality. I stood in that basement room, staring at the letter, and felt something inside me break. Not break in defeat, but break open, releasing the last chains holding back my power. When I walked back upstairs, Kale took one look at my face and knew something had changed. What happened? I handed him the letter. His face went white as he read, then red with fury. Elara. We're going to kill her, I said calmly. Not just stop her. Not just defeat her. We're going to end her completely. Yes, he agreed. We are. The mother who destroyed everything I could have been was waiting at the Blackwood ruins. And she was about to learn what happened when you tried to break an ancient alpha. We came back stronger. If you are enjoying this video, do well to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Chapter 6. I couldn't look at the letter anymore. My mother. The woman who'd burned me, cut me, carved words into my skin, she was my mother. Had given birth to me specifically to kill me. To drain my blood for power. Elara. Kale's voice pulled me back from the edge of shock. His hand cupped my face, forcing me to meet his eyes. Stay with me. She's my mother, I whispered. My own mother. Is a monster. And we're going to stop her. His thumb brushed away a tear I hadn't realized had fallen. But I need you focused. Those children need you focused. He was right. 12 innocent lives hung in the balance. I could fall apart later. After we saved them. After we ended Vivian. After we survived. I'm okay. I straightened, shoving the horror down deep. I'm ready. Kale studied my face, then nodded. There's something else you should know. About the poison. What about it? My wolf has been fighting it since the mate bonds started breaking through. Every hour we're together, every time we touch, he took my hand, and I felt it immediately. Warmth flowing from me to him, the bond working to heal. You're healing me. Not completely, not fast enough to beat Vivian's deadline, but enough that I'm stronger than she thinks I am. Hope sparked in my chest. How much stronger? Strong enough to fight. His eyes glowed gold. Strong enough to protect you while you face her. I don't need. I know you don't need protection. You're a warrior, an ancient alpha in your own right. He pulled me closer. But you're also my mate. And I will stand beside you in this battle, even if it kills me. It won't, I said fiercely. We're both walking out of those ruins alive. Then let's go get our pack's children back. 20 warriors assembled in the courtyard within the hour. Damien, Dr. Chen, Maya, and fighters I'd watched from the shadows for 7 years but never thought would fight for me. Now they stood ready to follow me into battle. The Blackwood ruins are 3 hours north, Damien addressed the group. The forest surrounding them is dead, killed by dark magic decades ago. Visibility will be low, and Vivian will have defenses in place. We go in 2 teams, Kale commanded. Damien leads the rescue team. Your only job is getting those children out safely. My team engages Vivian directly. And the Luna, a warrior, caught himself. The witch. How do we fight her magic? All eyes turned to me. Stay close to me if you can, I said, my voice steadier than I felt. My ancient alpha blood can resist dark magic. I'll try to shield as many of you as possible. You'll try? Another warrior questioned, not unkindly, but genuinely concerned. I've had my abilities for less than a day. I'm not making promises I can't keep. I met each warrior's gaze. But I will fight with everything I have to protect you and those children. That I can promise. Murmurs of approval rippled through the group. Kale's hand found mine, squeezing once. We leave in 10 minutes. Check your weapons, say your goodbyes. And remember, his alpha authority rang through his voice. We don't negotiate with child murderers. We end them. The warriors dispersed to prepare. Maya approached me hesitantly. Luna Elara? I wanted to say, my mother would be proud. That you're fighting back. My throat tightened. I'll make sure her research wasn't in vain. I know you will. Maya hugged me quickly, then ran off. You're already a better Luna than Vivian ever was, Kale said quietly. I'm not Luna yet. We're not even properly mated. We are. He turned me to face him fully. The bond snapped into place. In every way that matters, you're mine and I'm yours. The ceremony is just formality. If we survive. When we survive, he corrected, I'm marking you properly. In front of the whole pack. And then I'm never letting you out of my sight again. Despite everything, I smiled. Possessive alpha. You have no idea. His kiss was quick but fierce. Let's go save our pack. The journey north was tense and silent. We moved in wolf form when possible, covering ground quickly. As we neared the Blackwood forest, the temperature dropped and the healthy pine trees gave way to something nightmarish. Dead trees. Completely dead, not autumn bare, but truly lifeless. Gray bark peeling from twisted trunks, branches reaching toward the sky like skeletal fingers. No birds sang. No insects buzzed. Even the wind seemed to die here. Dark magic poisoned this forest, Dr. Chen said quietly, back in human form as we all shifted to navigate the treacherous terrain. 20 years ago, when the Silvercrest pack was massacred. When my father died. When Vivian killed him and destroyed everything. The ruins appeared through the dead trees like a wound in reality. Ancient stone walls covered in strange symbols that hurt to look at. An altar in the center, stained black with old blood. And cages. 12 of them, each holding a terrified child. Mommy. A little girl screamed, reaching through the bars toward one of our warriors. Stay quiet, baby, the warrior mother whispered back, her voice breaking. We're going to get you out. How touching. Vivian's voice echoed through the ruins, though I couldn't see her yet. Then she stepped out from behind the altar, and my breath caught. She looked different. More powerful. Her eyes glowed solid purple now, and her skin seemed to shimmer with barely contained magic. Her blonde hair floated around her head like she was underwater. Welcome, everyone. So glad you could make it to my ascension. Her smile was serene. Insane. Especially you, daughter. The warriors shifted uneasily at the word daughter, but stayed in formation. Let the children go, Kale commanded. This is between us. But there's such excellent motivation. Vivian walked around the altar, trailing one finger along the blood-stained stone. I've been preparing this place for 20 years. Since the night I killed my beloved husband and most of his pack. Since I stole our daughter away and hid her, suppressed her power, and waited for her to grow strong enough to fuel my ritual. You're insane, I said. I'm visionary. Her eyes fixed on me with maternal pride that made my skin crawl. I gave birth to you for this exact purpose, Elara. Your ancient blood combined with my dark magic will make me immortal. A goddess. I'll live forever, growing stronger with each century. You killed my father. Dimitri was weak. All that power, and he wanted to use it for healing. For helping lesser wolves. She spat the words like poison. I seduced him, married him, got pregnant, all to access the Silvercrest bloodline. And once you were born, once I confirmed you carried the ancient alpha genes, I killed him and everyone who might protect you. Except me. Except you. Because I needed you alive. Needed your blood. She gestured to the altar, where symbols were carved deep into the stone. Every month for 7 years, I collected your blood in secret rituals. Used it to suppress the mate bond, to poison Kale, to strengthen myself. And tonight, under the blood moon, she pointed to the sky, where the moon was indeed beginning to turn red. Tonight, I'll drain you completely and ascend to godhood. Over my dead body, Kale snarled. That can be arranged. Vivian's smile widened. But I'm feeling generous. Join me, Kale. Accept my mark, let me remove your weakness for this girl, and I'll spare the children. I'll even give you power beyond imagination. We'll rule together, eternal and unstoppable. I'd rather die. Wrong answer. Vivian raised her hands, and purple lightning crackled between her fingers. But I appreciate the drama. It'll make your death more memorable. Now! Damien shouted. Everything happened at once. Damien's team rushed the cages while Vivian was monologuing, bolt cutters ready. Kale's team charged the altar, weapons drawn. And Vivian laughed. Did you really think I'd be alone? The ground erupted with shadow creatures, the same ones from Kale's chamber, but more of them. Dozens of twisted shadow wolves with glowing purple eyes. Behind them, wolves emerged from the dead forest. Real wolves, but with dead eyes and jerky movements. Controlled. She'd raised the dead wolves from the massacre 20 years ago. Kill them all, Vivian commanded. Except my daughter and the Alpha. I need them alive. Hell broke loose. Shadow creatures crashed into our warriors. The dead wolves attacked with no fear, no pain, no hesitation. Our pack fought back viciously, but they were outnumbered. Get the children. I screamed at Damien's team as I called on my ancient power. Silver light exploded from my hands, destroying 3 shadow creatures that had surrounded Maya. Kale was already moving toward Vivian, his partial shift making him faster, stronger. They collided with the force of a car crash, claws and magic ripping through the air. I wanted to help him, but the children were still caged. Still screaming. Cover me. I ran toward the nearest cage, that silver light building in my palms. When I touched the bars, they disintegrated like paper. Run. I pulled the little girl out. Run to the trees and don't look back. 1 cage down. 11 to go. I moved to the next one, then the next, destroying magical locks with my ancient power while warriors held off the shadow creatures. Damien was fighting like a demon, protecting the freed children as they fled toward safety. 8 cages left. 7. 6. Then I heard Kale scream. I spun around to see Vivian holding a blade, not silver, but something darker, made of bone that seemed to drink in the light. She'd stabbed it through Kale's chest, right over his heart. No. The word tore from my throat. Did you like my blade? Vivian twisted it, and Kale convulsed. It's made from your father's bones, daughter. Forged in dark magic and cursed to kill any alpha it pierces. The poison already in his system will work with the curse. He has minutes. Maybe less. Kale collapsed to his knees, blood pouring from the wound. I had a choice. 5 more cages of children, or my dying mate. Choose wisely, Vivian taunted. Save the children and watch your mate die? Or save your mate and let me kill the children myself? Time seemed to slow. I looked at the caged children, crying for their parents. Looked at Kale, blood soaking his shirt, his eyes fading from gold to brown. Then I looked at Damien. He nodded, understanding without words. He'd get the rest of the children. That was his mission. Mine was to save my mate. I ran to Kale, dropping to my knees beside him. The wound was horrible, black veins spreading from it like poison, the curse working through his system. Elara, he gasped. The children. Damien has them. I have you. I pressed my hands over the wound, calling on every bit of ancient power I possessed. Silver light poured from my palms into him, fighting the darkness. How sweet. Vivian's voice was close. But also perfect. I looked up to see her standing over us, a ritual knife in her hand. Kale's blood dripped from the cursed blade in her other hand. I was going to drain you on the altar, but this, she gestured to Kale's pooling blood. This is even better. Alpha blood mixed with ancient alpha blood, freely given in love and sacrifice. The most powerful combination possible. She began chanting in that strange language, and the symbols on the altar began to glow. Kale's blood started flowing upward, defying gravity, spiraling toward Vivian. The blood moon reached its apex overhead, bathing everything in crimson light. No. I tried to stop the blood flow, but Vivian's magic was too strong. Yes. Vivian's laugh was wild as she raised the ritual knife. I ascend. I become eternal. She slashed her own palm, adding her blood to the spiral. Then she stabbed the knife down into the altar. The ground shook. Reality seemed to bend around Vivian as power flooded into her. Her body began to change, growing taller, her features sharpening, becoming something other than human or wolf. Wings erupted from her back, made of shadow and purple light. Her eyes went completely black. When she smiled, her teeth were all fangs. I am reborn. Her voice echoed with unnatural resonance. I am death. I am power. I am. Still my mother, I said, standing up. And I'm still your daughter. I placed my hand on Kale's chest, on his heart, and channeled everything I had into him. Not just healing, but the mate bond itself, giving him my strength, my power, my very essence. His eyes snapped open, burning pure gold. And we're going to kill you together, he finished. Vivian's monstrous face twisted with rage. Impossible. The curse should have. Ancient alpha blood breaks curses, I said, helping Kale to his feet. You should have remembered that before you taught me how to use my power. We stood together, facing the monster our enemy had become, as the blood moon reached its peak and the final battle began. If you are enjoying this video, do well to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Chapter 7. Kale was dying in my arms. I could feel it through the mate bond, his life force flickering like a candle in a storm. The cursed blade had done its work, spreading darkness through his veins despite my efforts to heal him. Stay with me, I begged, pressing my hands harder against the wound. Kale, please. Elara. His voice was weak, his skin cold. If I don't make it. Don't you dare. Tears blurred my vision. Don't you dare leave me. Not now. Not after everything. Above us, Vivian's monstrous form laughed, the sound echoing across the ruins. She was 20 feet tall now, her shadow wings spanning twice that. A nightmare made flesh, part wolf, part woman, part something that should never have existed. How touching, she crooned, her voice distorted. My daughter, crying over her dying mate. Just like your father cried when I killed him. Rage exploded through me. Pure, white-hot fury that made my ancient blood sing. I looked at Kale, my mate, my equal, the man who'd vowed to stand beside me, and made a choice. I won't let you die. I pulled the ritual knife from where Vivian had dropped it, slashing across my own palm. Blood welled up, bright and red and alive. Not for her. Not for anyone. Elara, what are you? I pressed my bleeding palm directly to his chest wound, to his heart. Ancient alpha blood met cursed darkness. Power erupted. Silver light exploded from our joined hands, so bright it turned night into day. I felt my bloodline activating fully, every generation of Silvercrest alphas before me, their strength flowing through my veins into Kale. The curse fought back. Dark magic writhed against the light, trying to consume it. But ancient alpha blood wasn't just powerful, it was pure. It was meant to fight darkness, to heal corruption, to restore balance. The black veins on Kale's chest began to recede. No. Vivian shrieked. That's impossible. The curse is absolute. Nothing is absolute, I said, my voice resonating with ancient power. You should have killed me when you had the chance, Mother. Kale's eyes snapped open, burning pure gold. But it wasn't just his wolf, it was something more. I felt it through the bond, my ancient bloodline mixing with his alpha strength, creating something unprecedented. A true mated alpha pair, our powers combined. He rose to his feet with fluid grace, the wound on his chest closing as silver light danced across his skin. When he looked at me, his eyes held both his wolf and something of my ancient heritage, gold swirled with silver. Together, he asked. Together, I confirmed. We turned to face Vivian as one. She snarled, her monstrous face contorting with rage. You think healing him changes anything? Look at me. I am a god now. I am. About to die, Kale finished coldly. Vivian roared and attacked. She was fast, impossibly fast for something so large. Her clawed hands swept toward us, but Kale and I moved in perfect sync, dodging in opposite directions and attacking her flanks. My hands blazed with silver light as I struck her side. Where I touched, her shadow flesh burned and smoked. She howled in pain. Ancient light, I said, understanding flooding through me. I can purify your dark magic. Then I'll kill you before you get close. Vivian's wings beat once, creating a hurricane wind that sent warriors flying. Shadow creatures erupted from the ground, a fresh wave of them. But our pack wasn't defeated. Damien rallied the warriors who'd successfully evacuated the children, leading a coordinated assault on the shadow beasts. Keep the monsters busy, he shouted. Let our alphas handle the witch. Our alphas. Not alpha and servant. Not leader and omega. Equals. The thought gave me strength. Vivian summoned purple lightning, hurling it at Kale. He didn't dodge, instead, he caught it, the electricity crackling around his hands harmlessly. Mate bond, he said with a savage grin. I've got ancient blood running through me now too. Your magic can't hurt me. Then I'll tear you apart with my claws. She lunged, all pretense of control gone. This was the woman who'd burned me. Carved words into my skin. Made me believe I was nothing. I remembered every scar. Every moment of pain. And I let the rage fuel my power. When Vivian's claws came for Kale, I was there first. I caught her wrist, my hands blazing with silver fire. The dark magic comprising her transformed body screamed as light met shadow. You made me suffer for 7 years, I said, my voice deadly calm. You tortured me. Broke me. Used my blood to fuel your twisted ambitions. I twisted her arm, and something cracked. She roared in pain. You killed my father. Destroyed my pack. Stole my childhood. Another twist. Another crack. And you made me believe I deserved it. I looked up into her monstrous face, and for the first time in my life, I saw fear in Vivian's eyes. I'm done being your victim. I released a pulse of pure ancient light directly into her arm. The limb disintegrated, turning to ash and shadow that scattered on the wind. Vivian staggered back, screaming. You little bitch. I created you. You exist because I allowed it. You created a weapon, Kale said, moving to my side. And now it's turned on you. We attacked together. Kale went high, his alpha strength enhanced by our bond. I went low, my ancient light burning away shadow wherever I touched. We moved like we'd been fighting together for years, anticipating each other's moves, covering weaknesses, amplifying strengths. Vivian was powerful, perhaps the most powerful dark witch who'd ever lived. But power without control is just chaos. And she was losing control. Her movements became erratic. Desperate. She summoned more shadow creatures, but I purified them with a thought. She tried to fly away, but Kale leaped impossibly high, catching her wing and dragging her back down. You can't win, she shrieked. I'm immortal now. I'm dying, I said simply. I'd noticed it during the fight, the way her form flickered, unstable. The ritual hadn't completed properly. She'd ascended too quickly, taken too much power too fast. She was burning out from the inside. No. Vivian's voice lost its resonance, becoming more human. No, I was so close. You were close to nothing, Kale snarled. You destroyed lives, murdered innocents, tortured your own daughter, and for what? A power you can't even control? I just wanted to be strong, Vivian whispered, and for a moment, she almost sounded vulnerable. To never be weak again. To never be human, I finished. But that's what made you weak, Mother. You threw away everything that mattered for power. And power without purpose is just emptiness. I pulled the silver dagger from my belt, the one Damien had given me before we left. Ancient pack magic hummed through the blade, reacting to my bloodline. This ends now. Vivian's eyes widened. She tried to summon her magic, but nothing came. The transformation was failing, her body shrinking back to something more human. Please, she gasped. Elara, I'm your mother. You stopped being my mother the day you killed my father. I drove the dagger into her heart. Silver light exploded from the wound, pure and cleansing. Vivian's mouth opened in a silent scream as the ancient magic coursed through her, purifying the darkness, burning away the corruption. You'll become just like me, she whispered, blood trickling from her lips. Power corrupts all alphas. One day, you'll understand, you'll crave more, need more, and you'll hurt people to get it. Just like I did. No. I twisted the blade. Because I have something you never did. Something you couldn't understand. What? Her voice was fading. I looked at Kale, at Damien rallying our warriors, at the freed children safe with their families. I have a pack. Real connections. People I love more than power. I leaned close. And that makes me stronger than you'll ever be. Vivian's eyes went wide, then empty. Her body began to disintegrate, not violently, but slowly, turning to ash that scattered on the wind. Within seconds, nothing remained of the woman who terrorized me for 7 years. Nothing but the memory of her cruelty, and the scars she'd left behind. The blood moon set as the last of her ashes blew away, returning the sky to normal darkness. Silence fell over the Blackwood ruins. Then cheering erupted. Warriors howled in victory, families sobbed in relief as they held their rescued children. We'd won. I turned to Kale, and the reality of everything crashed over me. We'd fought a dark witch, saved the children, ended a nightmare. Kale collapsed. No. I caught him before he hit the ground, his weight taking us both down. Kale. Kale. His eyes were closed, his breathing shallow. The curse might be broken, but the poison, 3 years of wolfsbane, was still in his system. Dr. Chen. I screamed. Help. The healer was there instantly, her hands moving over Kale's body. The ancient blood helped, but the poison damage is extensive. His heart, his organs, Elara, I don't know if I can save him. Try. Tears streamed down my face. Please, you have to try. Dr. Chen pulled out her medical kit, but I could see the truth in her eyes. Modern medicine couldn't fix this. The damage was too severe. Let me, I said. Elara, you've already given so much. He's my mate. I placed my hands on his chest, calling on every last reserve of ancient power. I won't lose him. Not now. Not after everything. Silver light poured from my palms into his body, seeking out the poison, burning it away. But there was so much damage. So much death already spreading through his system. Come on, I begged. Kale, please. Come back to me. His breathing slowed. No, 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 Kale. His chest stopped moving. No. The word tore from my throat, primal and anguished. Ancient power exploded outward from my body in a blinding silver light that lit up the entire forest. It wasn't just healing energy anymore, it was life itself, pure creation energy that ancient alphas could channel in moments of desperate need. I felt it flow through the mate bond, forcing its way into Kale's still heart, demanding it beat. Commanding it to beat. Live, I commanded with every ounce of alpha authority I possessed. Live. The light grew brighter, consuming everything, until I couldn't see anything but silver. Then darkness took me. If you are enjoying this video, do well to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Chapter 8. I woke to the sound of a heartbeat. Strong. Steady. Alive. My eyes opened slowly. I was lying on the ground, the dead forest surrounding us, dawn breaking through the skeletal trees. And beside me, Kale. His name came out as a sob. He was breathing. His chest rose and fell with perfect rhythm, color returning to his skin. As I watched, his eyes fluttered open, brown with flecks of gold, clear and focused. Elara. He reached for me, and I threw myself into his arms. We held each other like drowning people finding shore, neither willing to let go. His heart beat strong against my chest, proof that we'd both survived. That we'd won. I thought I lost you, I whispered into his shoulder. Never. His arms tightened around me. You commanded me to live, and I'm learning that disobeying my Luna is impossible. I pulled back to look at him. Your Luna. My mate. My equal. My Luna. He cupped my face gently. If you'll have me. If you can forgive me for. I kissed him, cutting off the apology. When we broke apart, both breathing hard, I rested my forehead against his. There's nothing to forgive. We both survived her. Together. Together, he agreed. Around us, the pack was stirring. Dr. Chen appeared, her eyes widening in shock as she checked Kale's vitals. Impossible, she breathed. The poison is completely gone. Your heart, your organs, everything is healed. Better than healed. You're stronger than you were before. Ancient alpha blood, Kale said, his eyes never leaving mine. She saved me. She saved all of us, Damien said, approaching with a tired but genuine smile. The children are safe. The shadow creatures dissolved when Vivian died. And the pack. He gestured to the warriors gathered around us. The pack is ready to go home. The journey back to pack territory was slower than our desperate rush to the ruins. We carried injured warriors, comforted traumatized children, and mourned the 3 pack members who died fighting Vivian's shadow creatures. But we also celebrated. Sang victory songs. Told stories of the battle that would become pack legend. By the time we reached the pack house, word had spread. The entire pack waited for us, hundreds of wolves gathered in the main courtyard, cheering as we emerged from the forest. Kale raised his hand for silence, and the crowd quieted immediately. Today, we end 7 years of lies, he announced, his alpha voice carrying to every corner of the courtyard. The woman we knew as Luna Vivian was a dark witch who murdered my father, poisoned me, and tortured an innocent member of our pack for years. Gasps and murmurs rippled through the crowd. But today, we also celebrate the wolf who saved us all. He turned to me, his expression full of pride and love. Elara Silvercrest is my true mate. She carries the bloodline of the ancient alphas, believed extinct but alive in her. She fought beside me, healed me, and killed the monster who terrorized our pack. He took my hand, raising it high. I present to you your true Luna. The cheering was deafening. Wolves howled, people shouted my name, children waved enthusiastically. I stood there, overwhelmed, hardly believing this was real. Speech, someone called out. Kale squeezed my hand encouragingly. They want to hear from their Luna. My Luna. Not servant. Not victim. Luna. I stepped forward, and the crowd quieted again. I don't have a prepared speech, I began, my voice shaking slightly. 7 years ago, I came to this pack as an orphan with nowhere else to go. I was broken, alone, and afraid. I paused, gathering courage. And for 7 years, I suffered in silence. I was abused, tortured, made to believe I was worthless. That I deserved the pain. I slowly rolled up my sleeves, revealing the scars that covered my arms. These marks were meant to break me. To define me as nothing. The courtyard was utterly silent now. But they didn't break me. They proved I could survive. Could endure. Could come out the other side stronger. I looked across the sea of faces, pack members I'd served in silence, never imagining they'd look at me with respect. These scars are proof that I'm stronger than what tried to destroy me. And they remind me that suffering in silence is never the answer. I met the eyes of several younger pack members, saw understanding there. If anyone in this pack is suffering, from abuse, from fear, from anything, know that you don't have to face it alone. Not anymore. As your Luna, I promise that I will protect you. I will believe you. And I will make sure no one in this pack ever has to hide their pain again. For a moment, nothing. Then someone started clapping. Then another. Then the entire pack erupted in applause and howls of approval. Maya pushed through the crowd, tears streaming down her face. My mother would be so proud, she said, hugging me tightly. Your mother saved us all by preserving the truth, I told her. I'd like you to be my personal advisor, if you're willing. Help me make sure her sacrifice meant something. Yes. Maya practically bounced. Yes, absolutely, Luna. Over the next few weeks, the pack healed. Kale ordered Vivian's East Tower, where she performed her dark rituals, burned to the ground. In its place, we built a memorial garden for all the victims of her cruelty. Maya's mother's name was carved first, followed by Kale's father, and all the others who'd suffered under Vivian's rule. My basement room, the place where I'd hidden and bled for 7 years, was completely renovated. We transformed it into a safe sanctuary for any pack member experiencing abuse, with comfortable furniture, counseling resources, and a direct line to the Alpha and Luna. 3 wolves came forward in the first week alone. All 3 were relocated to safety, their abusers dealt with according to pack law. I began training daily to control my ancient Alpha abilities. Dr. Chen worked with me, documenting everything for future generations. We discovered I could heal minor wounds with touch, purify dark magic, and command with authority that rivaled Kale's. But more than the power, I was learning to be Luna. To lead with compassion while maintaining strength. To listen to my pack's needs and fight for their well-being. And through it all, Kale was beside me. My partner. My equal. My mate. 1 month after Vivian's death, under a full moon that was silver and beautiful, we held our private mating ceremony. Just us, Damien as witness, and Dr. Chen to perform the traditional rites. We stood in the memorial garden, surrounded by the names of those we'd lost, and made our vows. I, Kale Thompson, Alpha of the Shadow Moon Pack, claim you, Alara Silvercrest, as my mate. His voice was steady, his eyes locked on mine. I vow to protect you, cherish you, and stand beside you as an equal for all my days. I, Alara Silvercrest, Luna of the Shadow Moon Pack, claim you, Kale Thompson, as my mate. My voice didn't shake. I vow to protect you, cherish you, and stand beside you as an equal for all my days. Then mark each other, Dr. Chen said softly, and let the bond be complete. Kale moved first, gently tilting my head to expose my neck. His canines extended, and for a split second, I tensed, old instincts from years of abuse. He felt it through the bond. I will never hurt you, he promised. Never. I know. And I did. When his teeth pierced my skin, there was a moment of pain, then pure euphoria as the mate bond snapped completely into place. I felt everything he felt, his love, his devotion, his absolute commitment to me. Then it was my turn. When I marked him, claiming him as mine, the bond became unbreakable. 2 souls intertwined, 2 alphas united, stronger together than either could be alone. We pulled back, and I saw my mark on his neck, a silver crescent moon. His mark on mine was identical. Forever, he said. Forever, I agreed. That night, in his chambers, our chambers now, he kept his promise. He traced every scar with his fingers, then his lips, kissing each mark tenderly. This one, he murmured, kissing a burn on my shoulder, will never hurt you again. This one, kissing the word worthless carved into my forearm, is a lie you'll never have to hear again. This one, kissing a claw mark on my wrist, is the last time anyone will make you bleed. He continued until he'd kissed every scar, every wound, every mark that Vivian had left on my body. And with each kiss, I felt myself healing, not physically, but emotionally. Felt the shame and pain being replaced with love and acceptance. "You're beautiful," he said, pulling me close. "Every part of you. The strength, the scars, the fire that refused to be extinguished." "I love you," I whispered. "I love you," he replied. "And I will spend the rest of my life proving you deserve that love." For the first time in 7 years, I believed him. 6 months later, I stood in the training grounds, watching a group of young wolves practice defensive maneuvers. I'd started a program for teaching pack members, especially Omegas and younger wolves, how to protect themselves. No one would be helpless in my pack. Not ever again. "Luna Alera?" A small voice interrupted my thoughts. I turned to find a girl, maybe 10 years old, with dark hair and frightened eyes. She held her arms close to her body, and even from a distance, I could see the burn marks peeking out from under her sleeves. My heart clenched, but I kept my expression calm and welcoming. "Yes, sweetheart. My name is Sophie. I heard you talk about your scars. About surviving." Her voice dropped to a whisper. "Can you help me? My stepfather, he hurts me. And my mom doesn't believe me." I felt Kale's presence before I saw him. He'd been watching from a distance, as he often did during my training sessions. Through the bond, I felt his rage at this child's pain, but also his trust in me to handle it. I knelt down, bringing myself to Sophie's eye level. Gently, I took her small hands in mine. "Yes," I said firmly. "I can help you. I will help you. And I promise you, Sophie, no one is ever going to hurt you again." Her eyes filled with tears. "Really? Really? You're safe now. Your pack and pack protects each other." I looked up at the warriors who'd stopped training to listen. "Damien, please escort Sophie to the sanctuary and inform her mother that we need to speak immediately. Her stepfather is to be detained pending investigation." "Yes, Luna." Damien approached carefully, offering Sophie a kind smile. "Come on, little one. Let's get you somewhere safe." As they walked away, I felt Kale's arms wrap around me from behind. "You're an incredible Luna," he murmured into my hair. "I'm just trying to be what I needed 7 years ago," I replied. "That's what makes you incredible." I leaned back into his embrace, watching Sophie disappear into the pack house where she'd be protected, believed, and helped. The scars on my arms caught the sunlight, silver and permanent. They would always be there, a reminder of what I'd survived. But they no longer defined me. They were simply proof that I had endured, that I had fought, that I had won. Proof that darkness could be survived and overcome. And now, as Luna of the Shadow Moon Pack, with my mate beside me and my pack around me, I would make sure no one else ever had to suffer in silence. The scars remained, but they transformed from symbols of shame into badges of strength. And that made all the difference. The scars would always remain, but they no longer defined her. They were proof that she had survived, that she had fought, and that she had won. And now, as Luna of the Shadow Moon Pack, she would make sure no one else would ever have to suffer in silence again. I know you enjoyed this video. Do well to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Also drop your thoughts in the comments section below. I would also love to know where you are listening from. And don't forget to share this video to family and friends. The end.